What you're about to experience are my opinions and truths. I'm suggesting they're possibilities for you to consider, in which you can then come up with your own logical conclusions. And hello everyone, welcome once again. My name is Logan and this is Decode Your Reality. Today I'm doing one on decoding the US $1 bill. And so many things written on the $1 bill. We want to decode that. Much of it is written in Latin, but we have Latin and English. So this is the US dollar bill decoded. So here we go. My methods for decoding, as you know, I use numerology, breaking down the spoken word, the spells that we speak. And then those numbers can be transferred into the elements of the periodic table. And then we get into what's called alchemy, the blending of energies. We can define the spoken word using the elements of the periodic table. Then, of course, I do sometimes bring in the elements of pi, the never-ending digits of pi, to measure where those digits set. And then, of course, to get a picture of things, we can bring in the tarot and then the cards of illumination. And, of course, last but not least, what most people don't have, and that's common sense. Not you, of course, but most people. So here we go. I wanted to start off by showing you this quote that has been said by so many presidents over the course of time and their speeches, and typically this is what they say after their speech. God bless the United States of America, or God bless America. God bless the United States of America has everything to do with the dollar bill, because it has everything to do with the all-seeing eye of Horus that is on top of the pyramid on the back of the dollar bill. And that equals the number 121. God bless the United States of America. 121 through numerology is 51. The 51st element on the periodic table is antimony. That is antimony sulfide. They used to put that under their eyes back in the Egyptian times, and that's all related to the eye of Horus. The word antimony equals the number 111, and then 111 is 51. So you see, it doesn't matter if you're going to use multiple ciphers. I prefer to use one, but you see how they're all connected, ladies and gentlemen. But it's really the elements of the periodic table is where it's at. 51 has great significance. That's the throat chakra, where we speak our spells, to the root chakra. That's for another video, but you see the tie-ins of this. God bless America, which is another famous statement used so many times through the course of politics. That equals the number 47, which is tied to Washington, D.C., the nation's capital, where the president sits in the White House. And, you know, these are the two elements that carry that 47. You have silver that has 47 protons, and then you have titanium, which has an atomic weight of 47, which is 22, master number 22. And, you know, this is tied to Saturn's moon, Titan, and the Titans that fought. It was the Titans versus the Olympians. This is all embedded in the dollar bill, folks. All of it. The money that we carry in our pockets is tied to the Titans and the Olympians. One of the words, or I should say, one of the statements that's embedded and imprinted on the dollar bill is "In God we trust." What does it mean? I mean, we can loosely say this is 50, that's related to the element tin, which is related to the element, or such as say the planet Jupiter. Jupiter is the beneficial planet. That's loose, and of course Jupiter has an atomic weight of 119. But when we break it down using alchemy, it's a 12-letter word, "In God we trust." Come over to the trusty calculator. It ends up equaling 106.1. And then, of course, that is directly tied to, yet again, the 47. Because silver has an atomic weight of 106. Then when we break down 106.1, through numerology, it gives us the number 64. Remember, there are 64 squares on a chessboard. There are 64 numbers in the I Ching. And then, of course, our DNA, the codones, there's 64 of those. That's why this is important, ladies and gentlemen. And then, let me say that the 106 is the masculine side of the decimal. That equals 47. So you see the strong ties in to the element silver. Very strong ties in. And then, of course, I keep showing this, and it's just, my work just keeps going towards this because it just seems like everything that's important in our matrix reality is freaking tied to the 47, which is the heart to the crown in the Vedic system. But I'm showing this because Washington, D.C., the nation's capital, what everybody calls Washington, D.C., equals the number 47. And that's where the dollar bill, that's the circulation, the currency. This is also on the dollar bill, and it's in Latin. It was very long, 17 letters. I had to break it up, but here's the alchemy of this Latin statement: Novus Ordo Seclorum. And when we come over to the trusty calculator, we end up getting a total of 168.124. Ladies and gentlemen, when we break that down, 168.124, we get the number 287. And the number 287 in the digits of pi appear at the 911, the 911, the 911 decimal digit of pi. 287. That's where we speak. This is where it's all connected behind the scenes, where we don't see something. It's just the circulation of this and these words that are on these pieces of paper that we use as currency, current, electricity. What's interesting about 168 on the masculine side is that it's related to the 69th element, thulium, because thulium has an atomic weight of 168. Thulium is the 69th element on the periodic table. And of course, 69 is the yin-yang. So this statement has a blend, a perfect blend of the yin-yang. See, there's multiple layers we're having to go through, but you're seeing how they're all connected. And, I didn't try to fit a square peg in a round hole. These are connections that you just got to dig a little bit and put this puzzle together, these pieces of this puzzle together, using all these layers. And you'll see how it's all connected. How is this possible that they're all connected? Well, because this matrix reality was designed long before this dollar bill ever came into existence. All these numbers, all these factors, numerology, all these things were here long before the dollar got introduced to the matrix reality. But that's just the way it works, because the software was written before we got here. The United States of America, it's big and bold right on the dollar bill. The United States of America, it's a 24-letter word, ends up equaling a total of 91, but when we break it down using alchemy, I couldn't fit it all in the trusty calculator. So, if you want to fact check this, by all means, go ahead. You're going to get this outcome. It's 108.135, and I get them from adding up all these weights, all 24 of them. You can go ahead and do that yourself if you want to, but you're going to come up to 108.135. And then, of course, silver, the 47th element, has an atomic weight of 108, which matches up with the masculine side of the United States of America, which, again, it's the tetragrammaton. So, ladies and gentlemen, you have to, I shouldn't say you have to, but maybe it's time that you sat back and started to observe these things and realize, well, where did the tetragrammaton come from? Are you in the least bit interested as to where this 47 tetragrammaton came from? Do you have any inkling of interest of where it came from? And when you start to do your homework, you'll find that it's the ancient Israelite God, which is why the United States has so much interest in Israel. Tetragrammaton means the four-letter word of God, the YHVH or the YHWH. Nonetheless, it's the Tetragrammaton. And that's why all these numbers pay tribute. All these words link to the 47. Now, on the back of the dollar bill, above the pyramid, Annuit Capotis, or I probably didn't even say that right. I'm not even sure how to pronounce that, but it's in Latin, but nonetheless, I don't speak Latin, not yet anyway, but it's a 13-letter word. I didn't even have to break this down using alchemy. I mean, it's a direct 53. 53 is iodine, and that's the yod, ladies and gentlemen, because iodine derives from the Greek letter iota, which comes from the Hebrew letter, the yod. This is the big standout, the Hebrew letter, the yod, the iodine. And keep in mind, it's the only element that has an abbreviation for its element, the letter I, as in I am. I am that I am. Remember that scripture in the Bible? It's all tied together, ladies and gentlemen. People say, oh, money's evil. Well, where do you think it comes from? Who do you think rules it? What do you think it's connected to? I'll give you a hint right there. There it is. This is the biggest set of letters that are on the dollar bill. O-N-E. One. If you go look at the dollar bill, pull one out of your pocket, it's the three biggest letters on the dollar bill. One. Which means it has great significance. It's meant to stand out. Well, 1 equals the number 34. 34 ends up breaking down to 15, 14, and 5. That's phosphorus, silicon, and boron. Using alchemy now, with the spoken word of numerology, we come over to the trusty calculator. Look at the outcome that we get for the title 1. 69.96. I mean, that's a number that feeds off itself because the 6 and 9 feed off each other. They're magnetic. And the 69.96, it's masculine and feminine, 69 or 96. I mean, you couldn't design a number more perfect to really fit in the aspects of currency and electricity. And if you understand how torus fields work and what we're stuck in this matrix, it's all about dielectricity and magnetism. I mean, this is just probably the biggest standout of them all. And you know, the 34th card in the Cards of Illumination is the 8 of Diamonds. 8 is the money for number. The number for money. And diamonds means money, and it's the 34th card, and 1 is 34, and 8 of Diamonds is 47, and Tetragrammaton is 47. So, you know, I posed the question again, ladies and gentlemen, what do you think is running the currency behind the scenes? The Federal Reserve. They print these pieces of paper, but what's really backing it? What's really backing the paper system that we put all our eggs in? It's kind of interesting. I mean, it really, really is, you know? That was my last slide. But what did you see, ladies and gentlemen? I could have kept going. I could have decoded these Roman numerals on the back of the dollar bill. I could have decoded much more than what I showed you, but I wanted to keep this rather short. But I think I got pretty much many of the mainstay pieces in this. But what do you see? I think it's crystal clear. I keep showing this with so many different video presentations. What is running this matrix reality? And people are, you know what I'm getting from people? Well, that's okay. It's okay. Well, put your faith in God. You know, it's okay. Put your faith in God. You know, put your faith there. Is that what we're supposed to do? In God we trust. Who's God? And when we define that, are we okay with who we've come up with as the definition of God? This is the time, ladies and gentlemen. We're in the age of Aquarius. This is the age of I know. There's no excuses as to saying, well, I didn't know what was going on. Or, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, you're being shown what this stuff means. There's no excuses anymore. What's running this country? What's running this world? God bless the United States of America? Well, that's the all-seeing eye. So what's the all-seeing eye mean? Something for you to discover, ladies and gentlemen. That's all I got for today. My name is Logan. This is Decode Your Reality. Thanks for watching.